Welcome back to this week's episode of Friends with Kayla. I'm very excited to be with a spiritual girly and astrologer, Danielle Paige. Welcome, Danielle.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
All the way from LA. Really
All the way
appreciate you
from
being
LA.
here.
Yes.
And through the Miami Art Basel traffic.
Yes.
She has made it.
Yes.
So, how does it feel? I know you've lived in Miami for a hot
did.
second.
I had a Miami era for a while. It was fun, lots of glitter, lots of sparkles. Yeah, and now it's like I don't know what to do with all that stuff, but it was fun. Yeah, then I went back to LA. My house burned. Came back. Now I'm back. I keep going back and forth. So we're doing the bi-coastal thing now.
Yes. A lot of people doing that now. And you said that so casually about your house, and I can't believe that you were one of the people to lose their houses in the fire.
Yeah, I say casually because I've processed, I've healed, and I've accepted that it was part of my journey, and I evolved so much. I basically died on every level, and I came back to life. And this new version that's emerging, I love it so much. So I had time to process and heal, and I really did take the time. So I feel okay now. It was part of my journey. There's always a lesson in everything, and what's coming from this is even more beautiful than before.
That's such a great outlook, and I feel like that makes something like that makes you realize like how important the real things are in life, and not just the possessions that you own. So, well, I'm really excited to chat with you. I do not know much about astrology, but I feel like through my own experiences, particularly when it comes to dating, I have been a little bit more tapped into my astrological side, you could say, because of two experiences with Libra men specifically.
Libras, the men are interesting.
So that I feel like it's always something that happens with a guy or a relationship, like a romantic relationship, that will really just make you kind of like come to some conclusion.
Yes.
And I'm sure you can relate to that. So I'd love to first just understand like a little bit about your spiritual journey and how you got into this field in the first place.
Yeah, my story is long, wild, but we'll give you the abbreviated version. I had no idea about anything, really. My whole life, I just, we're going with the flow, just doing the thing that we're supposed to do. You go to school, you get a job. I was always questioning a little bit, but this was a while ago, so the consciousness wasn't as prevalent as now. Like you go on Instagram, everyone's a spiritual coach. Like that's great and beautiful, but it wasn't like that back then when I was growing up. So at my 30th birthday, which was my Saturn return, but I didn't know it was a Saturn return, so I found that out after the fact. I went to Paris with my boyfriend, who I was living with, and he dumped me in Paris on my 30th birthday. So that was like straight out of a movie. I didn't really see that one coming. And when I went back, I was doing interior design and architecture. So I was working at a really beautiful, prestigious firm in Boston. That's where I was living. And I loved it, but it just wasn't for me. I kept saying I need to help people. But like I was like, do I go back to school to be a psychologist, like a therapist? Like I didn't know what that meant, right? But I just knew in my heart that it wasn't for me. So we broke up. I came back to Boston. I got this, at the time I didn't know it was really my intuition and my soul guiding me, but I just knew I had to go back to California, where my parents lived at the time. And I quit my job. And it was really unheard of at this kind of firm. It was very kind of like conservative, like you don't do that. It was kind of the energy. It was like, you just don't quit that and not have something lined up. So nobody could understand. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just going to do it. So I get back to California. The economy tanks. This was 2009. So there were no design jobs. The housing market crisis was happening. All of my friends that were architects, designers were moving at home with their parents. And I'm like, you're in good company. I'm living with my parents too. So I haven't lived with them since I was 18. Wow. So it was a big deal. And at the time, our relationship wasn't great. So it was kind of hard. So I'm crying over my relationship. I now can't find a job after 4.5 years of grad school. And I didn't know what to do. So I was interning somewhere was interning, if anyone knows, with Kelly Wersler in LA. She's an amazing designer. And so I had the credentials to get a job, but nobody was hiring because of the economy. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to intern. So meanwhile, I have a master's in interior architecture, and I'm interning with people that were 10 years younger than me that didn't have any experience, right? But I'm just doing that to kind of get my foot in the door because I wanted to work there. But during this whole process, this is when everything started to change. I started with dreams. And I would wake up and the dream, have you ever had a dream and it's like so intense? And do you remember your dreams, first of all?
So, yeah, sometimes I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've always kind of remembered my dreams, but this was on a whole other level. I would wake up and I was like almost crying because it was like I was somewhere else and something happened. And it would take me like an hour to kind of snap back into it. And then I would write down all these things that happened. And I'm like, this is weird. Like I didn't have any other word. I'm like, something is going on. And that kept happening. And then I would have dreams, and then I would see things happen during the day that my dream would show me. So at this point, I'm thinking, this is the Twilight Zone. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm getting a little scared, not because it was scary, but like, I have no reference. Again, if this happens now, you just go on Instagram, you go on TikTok, someone's talking about it, right? Very different in 2009, okay? Like, nobody was talking about this. So this starts happening, and then one night, I wake up in the middle of the night, I open my eyes, and there's a spirit staring at me. Now, I didn't grow up seeing spirits. I mean, you hear like a lot of little kids do and see stuff, but I think I saw something once and I shut it down because I was really scared. So I wake up and I see this spirit looking at me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm awake. I'm not dreaming. I'm looking at this like, holy shit, like what is going on? And then it kind of disappears. And so from that point on, I'm like, okay, for 2 weeks, I didn't sleep with the lights off because I was scared. But this is where it gets really good. In that process, you know, my first teacher was, you can call it the creator, you can call it Hashem, you can call it God, whatever, my soul. That was my first teacher, because I was then guided through this of go meditate. And I was like, I don't even know what meditation is. And then I was also guided, if you're scared, you're going to bring that in. And I'm like, how the hell am I not going to be scared? So this is not like I'm hearing it. This is being impressed into my body. Okay. So it's like very subtle. Like what happens to all of us all day long, we just have so many thoughts, we don't realize that it's happening. Okay. But this was very strong. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go meditate. So I go meditate. And at first I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. Like, what do I like hum? What do I hold my hands? I had no idea what to do. And then I just surrendered and dropped in. And then what would happen is an hour would go by and I would like be on this other realm and I would see all these things. And I'm like, okay, something is happening. So long story short, too late, but long story short, with all this, that led me to realize something is going on here. There's a world beyond this world that I didn't know about before. And something started clicking inside my body of this is, and I have full body chills as I'm saying this. I'm like, this is what I'm here for. Because my whole life up to that point of 30, I hated every job I had. I thought there was something wrong with me. I feel like I didn't fit in. And I was trying to fit into this world that was not my world. I was trying to be what society told me to be because I had no other idea what to do. And I wasn't being authentic myself, but I didn't know I wasn't being authentic, but something just didn't feel right. And so for the first time, even though I was confused, I'm like, well, I don't know what this means or what I'm going to do with it. This is what I want to explain. Something clicked in my heart, and it was this feeling of love and this feeling of coming home that I've never felt before. And that's how I knew I was on track. And that's how I knew this wasn't like scary. This wasn't like the demon or like all the stuff that people say and just project. I didn't have that. All I had was pure love and a knowing that I feel good and this is my path. So I followed that. And I basically built my business from that over the next 6, 7, 8 years. Went through many dark nights of the soul. People were going out. My friends are partying and drinking in my early 30s. And I'm like sitting home journaling, taking a salt bath, crying out my emotions. Because that old version of Danielle had to die. And I had to grow into the new version. But again, I didn't know that at the time. So my early 30s were very intense, very hard. I was struggling financially. But I kept knowing that this was my path. And then I found astrology maybe like a year after this. And I just knew that this was my path. I went home that night, Googled everything I could about astrology. The sun came up and I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. Combined that with like what I was seeing beyond the veil. And then, I mean, it took many years for me to get there because I had to learn how to build an online business. I mean, we're talking at the beginning of time, like the Flintstone era, okay? Like this was like way back when, right? You know, now it's like a lot easier because everyone could teach you, but I'm like, I had no idea, right? So I was trying to learn astrology, trying to build a business online, trying to clear my old personas and my old beliefs. So my 30s were really hard. So, wow. But that's what led me to here. And now it's astrology and consciousness and energy. And now there's so many more layers coming in.
So I have so many questions. It's a wild story, a wild journey. I feel like it all started, though, at the end of your Saturn return.
Yes.
And at the time, did you have any idea that that's what you were experiencing?
No, I had no idea because I didn't know. All I knew about astrology is I'm a Taurus. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a Taurus. I like nice things and we love food, you know? Like that's all I knew about astrology. I didn't know the layers and the depth to astrology. You know, astrology it's a mystical tool. It's been around, it's in the Torah. It's been around since the beginning of time. it's not like what I call, like in Instagram you see the basic bitch astrology, which is fun. I love a good meme, but it's so much deeper than that. It literally shows the inner workings of your soul.
Yeah, so what exactly, how would you define astrology? Is it
Yeah.
a belief system? Is it mysticism? Is it a religion?
Yeah.
Because people are looking for answers, right? Like they
Yeah.
turn to astrology, and that's kind of what happened to you, years in the making.
Oh yeah, I mean, once I saw astrology, I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, this is my chart. Maybe I can learn something, because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I was an interior architect and I don't know, so I'm like, maybe it can teach me something. And then through that, I decoded my chart. I'm like, oh, this is where I'm good at this. You're right. I keep doing this. Like that keeps getting me in trouble. So I saw it. So I see astrology as a beautiful mystical tool. And it's important I say it's a tool, because it's not everything, right? We're our soul and we have free will and we make decisions, but we are born under this set of circumstances, which in the Torah and the Talmud, it's called mazal. And so it's a set of circumstances that your soul incarnated into. And then, it's like you could always dye your hair, but you have dark hair, right? Like, so we're set with our consciousness, and we're set with our personality in certain ways. And then you can take it deeper, and that's the first layer of astrology. The second layer of astrology it shows like soul's purpose and what you're here for and what your soul has done many lifetimes. So there's layers and layers and layers to it.
Yeah, and I think, like, for me, I never really believed in astrology, candidly.
Oh, well, I love it that you have me here.
Yeah, no, like I said, there's been certain things in my life that I'm like, okay, that does kind of make sense.
Yeah.
And I've always been told, I'm a Capricorn.
Yes.
And I've always been told, like, oh, well, you're a hustler, like, I'm going to hire you because you're a Capricorn. And I'm like, what does that mean? Or, dating like two Libra guys who had the same birthday, like it didn't work out with them. And I'm like, okay, there's a pattern here. There's a trend. So to me, it's all about like spotting different trends to explain like these patterns, right?
It's patterns and archetype. And actually, it's so fitting as a Capricorn that you didn't really believe in it, because it's very Capricorn energy. So like, I commend you. You're being a true Capricorn for being like, I don't know, this is bullshit,
Yeah, I'm skeptical.
Yeah, which is, you're doing what you're wired to do.
Oh, that's funny. So I guess when people come to you, like to hire you, like what is that for?
Oh, we have had so many things. I've taught so many different courses. I have a membership. I do moon circles. I do meditations. But if someone's hiring me for a reading, it's a deep dive. So I did readings for about 9 years straight, and then I went into courses. So now I just do VIP sessions, and it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And so we dive into the song of your soul, is what I like to say. It's like, what makes you tick? Why are you here? And I mix in coaching, subconscious work, healing, if we need to do a healing session with it. So I kind of do my own journey. I've always done that with astrology. I've always used my channel and astrology, and it actually turns out, so I'm studying Kabbalistic astrology now. It's like so cool. Beautiful that's coming in. But the crazy part is, I've been teaching astrology for 17 years. That's how long I've been doing this. For 17 years, through a Kabbalistic lens, without knowing I was doing this, because it's already in my soul.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah,
because I did hear you said, like, I'm in flow, and you were using terms even before when you were describing your early 20s.
Yeah.
So that's a term, a Kabbalistic term.
Yeah.
Right?
Which one, the Mazal or?
Well, just saying, like, I'm in flow.
Yeah.
Like
you could say that. That's a Kabbalistic term. But so for Kabbalistic astrology, it's Western astrology can be very predicative. It can be very like, this is what's going to happen to you, and this is what you need to do. And when I learned it, so I started studying on my own. I started taking classes with teachers, but really it's been through my own channel. Like Spirit would be like, teach them this. So I started talking about the North Node, for example. A lot of Western astrologers, not all, but a lot, don't talk about the North Node.
What is the North Node?
The North Node is your soul's evolutionary journey. So it's a little bit more in Vedic and then also in Kabbalistic astrology, but my soul told me to study it. So I studied it, and I've always seen astrology as, these are the set of circumstances, again, before I knew the word mazal, right? These are the set of circumstances that your soul incarnated into, but it's based on your consciousness and your free will. And in Judaism, they're very big on free will. So astrology is a pattern. It's about divine energy flowing from the upper worlds into your vessel, but it's your free will that's going to change that. So it's not like, oh, I'm stuck and this is going to happen, and I'm in trouble or whatever. It's, how are you going to navigate these experiences based on your consciousness? So that's where I've always mixed in Kabbalistic astrology without knowing I was doing it, because my soul has already done this before. It's wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when people come to you, like, what are they hoping to gain from a reading?
Totally different. It could be relationship stuff, purpose. There's a lot of purpose. Like, purpose is so important, but I always like to say purpose is not like one thing. It's really about, it could be walking to the grocery store and how are you going to smile at the clerk because maybe you're going to change his life or her life. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you navigate every day? But, the chart does show alignment that's you're more geared towards. So a lot of people come for purpose. A lot of people come for relationships, career, money, finances, and just like really it's the patterns. It's a lot about love too.
Okay. Because I do feel like there is this stigma associated with astrology when it comes to connection and romantic relationships of how men view astrology versus women, especially. You see on someone's, like a guy's Hinge profile, like, please don't ask me what sign I am. Like, guys are very anti-astrology. Have you experienced that in your practice as well?
I have. Okay. It's been actually, I will say this, I would say like 95% of my followers are women. Yeah, great. Makes sense. Or gay men. Great. They seem to be more open, right? When there is, and I'm generalizing here, but I've had sessions with men before, straight men, that honestly it's been really hard because there's a lot of ego there. And I'm like pushing up against all this ego, and it's like someone maybe bought it for them, or someone said, oh, you should go, but it's like they don't really want to be there. So it's like I don't enjoy that because I'm not like, this is not a circus act for me. I'm not like here to predict your future. It's not about that. It's about going into your soul and uncovering the layers that are blocking you from your truth. So it's been really interesting. Or it's like men that want to get to know me and it's like don't care about the reading, but just like, so I'm like, you could have just slid into my DMs and asked me out. We didn't have to do a whole session.
They have an ulterior motive.
we don't have to do a whole session, please. It's a waste of both of our time,
LA, at least you're getting paid though. So, that's one perk. That's so interesting. And I just feel like, like when I asked even like my Instagram story, like, Danielle's coming on, and like, what questions you have? Like, it was all flooded with women.
It always is, and it's cool. I love it because I think that we're more open intuitively because we feel the rhythm of the cosmic rhythm, and men, it's hard for them because men are taught like, don't cry, don't feel. There's so many programs that men are moving through, and it's like they're also wired differently, and they're wired more sometimes in their masculine with their logic, and that's okay too. But I always say I love the people that don't believe astrology because what I can do is pull up a chart, I could see the cycles you're under, and I can tell you exactly probably how you're feeling, and then they're still going to be like, oh, that's not true. But like, yes, it is. Because like if Pluto is doing something to your sun or your moon, you're going to feel like you're dying. If Saturn's on there, you could be depressed, right? If Neptune's there, you're going to be super confused. So it's like, I love the people that don't believe it because it's just really, here's the thing, not everyone needs to believe it, but that doesn't change the fact that it's true. And it's valid. And I have a master's in interior architecture. I still love interior design. My place before it burned was gorgeous. So I love designing. I don't need to be doing this just because like there's no other work for me in the world. I'm doing this consistently because for 17 years I've seen the pattern. And I always bring this up. In 2019, I told people that 2020 is going to be a bit of a shit show. I have a video of me in, I think it was November, October of 2019 being like, you guys, I just ran some data and I didn't know how to tell people, but I was like, there's going to be some things going on in 2020 and I didn't want to scare people. So like, I didn't know how to tell people.
So you had
I saw the astrology. I saw the astrology. Yeah, it was the same astrology as World War I, World War II, 9/11, the HIV/AIDS pandemic. And when there's certain planets, you can see there's patterns that happen. To track the cycles with astrology, it's called mundane astrology. So that's not my specialty, but I also know like certain things, you look to see patterns. So I saw this and I saw that this kept happening all these times. So it's like astrology doesn't lie. Humans do. We think we're smarter than the cosmos and this divine energy, but it doesn't lie. So you always see patterns. And so how it plays out is based on our consciousness. So I didn't know exactly how it was going to play out. Although I did lose it in the fire and I need to track it, but I did find a way to track when there's pandemics. And I had all these notes, but obviously I lost it all in the fire. Oh, no. So I'm going to go back and do it because there is a certain pattern around eclipses that I found So I just need to write it down again and do the notes. But it doesn't lie. So there is going to be another kind of like 2020, but it was like in 50 years or something. So it's like what's going to happen then, but there's going to be some other pandemic then, but like later on.
Does this also translate to wars or?
Oh, yeah.
So like with October 7th, for example, did you have any sort of feeling?
I wasn't looking for anything like that. That did happen around the eclipses, and I always tell my audience around the eclipses, everything is heightened. So that did happen. I feel like it was a couple days or a week before the eclipse, and so like that makes sense, but like I wasn't looking for that. So I was supposed to go to Israel this summer during the war, like right before, I was actually supposed to go on a Kabbalah trip. I booked it, and then about a week later, my soul told me to cancel. I canceled that one, but I was going like 2 weeks later on a different trip. So I was waiting to go. And the Kabbalah trip that was there, they got stuck in that. So my soul told me to cancel that. And I was like, I think my soul was like, you just went through the fire, your nervous system shot, like we can't do this to you.
Yeah, not
right? It's just too much because I was still healing from that. But I did look at the astrology, and I wanted to go on this other trip, but I was talking with my friends there, and I told them, I was like, Uranus is moving into Gemini for the first time, and there's always war, and that's going to shake things up. And so I said, I have the trip planned, and I hope that I'm going to go. But I'm like, honestly, yeah, I think something's going to happen this summer because, I mean, everything, that's been going on. And so it shook it up. And so it did. I'm like, it was Uranus. So I'm like you can see, like, if you're looking for it. But, like, I'm not looking for everything all the time. October 7th, I wasn't looking for that.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on that same subject of just Judaism, obviously spirituality, there's a big connection even with Kabbalah, right? With the practice of mysticism and Judaism. Yeah. How has your belief system changed? Or like how has your Judaism changed given your connection to spirituality?
So much. So I actually want to share this because I think if anyone's listening, it's really important because I think there might be people that have just found their Judaism or just coming into the spirituality. So my whole life, I rejected Judaism. Even when I was little, I wanted nothing to do with it. And I'm telling you, this is so much past life trauma from dreams that have come up and like running from people and I've been told I've been a rabbi so many times. I know I've done Kabbalah and mysticism. And I think my soul was like, we're tired. But as a little kid, I didn't understand this. But I now understand that my journey in this lifetime was to find my own path spiritually. And I did that. I had to go on my path. And I'm really glad I did that. And what happened is, I dabbled a little bit here and there, but as I got older, but I really was not connected to it at all. Like I just didn't want anything to do with religion. And then October 7th happened. And obviously that was so sad and tragic. But I was confused right when it happened as to my response to it, like my level of response when I really wasn't tuned into any of my Judaism. So that kind of shocked me. And I didn't eat for 3 days. I was so upset. It was devastating. And in that time, I was sitting there, and I was here in Miami. I just bought a house, long story, just popping all around. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there and trying to figure out, like, because it's something, yes, it was so tragic, but
you had this awakening, it sounds
yes,
like.
I didn't understand, like, the level that was happening. And when it happened, I felt my ancestors on my right side and my left side all around me. And at that moment, they said to me, "You're Jewish, speak for us." And it was like something changed in my body at that moment. And I was like, holy shit. Like I felt it. It was like a dial turned and I'm like, oh my God, I'm Jewish. And I could see that I've been suppressing that my whole life. And so what happened is I started speaking about the hostages right away. And I got met with as everyone knows, that so much hate. And I honestly wasn't even saying anything specific about Israel. It was like, I need to speak for the hostages. I felt that was everyone has a different path here.
Yeah.
And I felt that they had no voice and I had an audience and I needed to speak. So I've, heard every horrible name in the book. I've lost now, I think it was total of about 15,000 followers. Yeah. I'm definitely like shadow banned from all that too. Like my audience won't grow. I think people reported me like nonstop. And I never said anything bad about Gaza, Palestine, because I'm not here to create more division. I'm here to build bridges and inform people about what's going on and the truth about what's going on behind this, because people didn't understand. Because as you know, the narrative just went crazy. And so I'm trying to inform people about, it's not, not colonizing the land. Like there's so many things that it's like every key word that everyone is using was untrue, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, and I was like, if you want the war to end, how about we return the hostages? Like, let's start there. Like, that's a really good idea. So anyways, so I basically have been speaking nonstop about that. And when they were just, the final group was returned, I mean, I had probably like 100 stories up telling everyone about their journey, their life, because I wanted to, people don't see these as people. They just saw it as someone out there that they have no idea, but I wanted to humanize them because this is important to humanize. And the thing that shocked me the most is at this point, the people that follow me, like they know where I stand on this. And it's not even like I want another side to be in pain. It's not that, but they understand that I'm Jewish, right? And what everyone told me is what I couldn't believe. They're like, I would have no idea if you weren't speaking on that. They're like, nobody else I follow is talking about this. Nobody, they're like, I wouldn't even know the hostages exist. I wouldn't even know this happened to innocent people. I didn't know this happened to kids. I didn't know anything about that. So I felt it was my responsibility to speak up and to cut through the bullshit, because that's what I do. I did it in 2020. I spoke. There's a lot of things that I get that people aren't ready to hear, but I say it anyways. And I was like, I'm not here to create divide. I'm here to pierce through the veil of truth and let people know what's going on, because the narrative that's being fed is false. Yeah. It is not real. And so that's what I did. And I just knew that it was my path, and it was really hard. As you know, anyone that's Jewish online, it's not easy. But I'm like, you know what? Like, I know that I'm helping, and this is my karmic responsibility. My ancestors told me to. I felt it in my bones, and so I'm like, this is the hill that I'm going to die on.
Yeah.
Really.
No, good for you. And I wish more people were as courageous. I mean, it's not courageous. Yeah. It's like
but it is, unfortunately, in this day and age, because it's the Wild West out there.
It is the Wild West. Yeah. And this is your business.
Yes.
And that's what I talk about a lot.
I lost so much business, and I'm like, it's okay. You got to go, because like I'm here to deprogram people. And it's not like I think every government is. Like, I don't think the American government is innocent. I mean, there's stuff, Israeli government, there's stuff. Every government has stuff. So it's like, but let's not dehumanize the people. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, I'm just, if someone is so brainwashed, like, it's okay, go on your own journey, because I'm not here for that.
Yeah, and it's just so, I think it's so surprising to me that this, like, the spiritual people that follow you, right, are the ones that are
that's where I got the most hate, actually.
Yeah. And the fact that they were the ones that didn't actually know the truth about what was going on at all.
Nope.
So the fact that you were there to, like, be able to give out that information just shows, like, how just ignorant and how much of an echo chamber people like you and I are in versus what other people are seeing online.
And because most of my audience is not Jewish now. Over the years, I've gotten more, which is great, because I definitely speaking up, and I love that. I welcome everyone. It doesn't matter what religion you are, just be like a decent human being that understands, is open to seeing another perspective. But most people have no idea the truth about what's going on, and that's why I'm like, I'm here for truth. So I can't sit here and let people, like, people are lying right and left online, and they don't see it. The fact that people were like, I would not have known there's hostages if you didn't post. It's
crazy to me.
Wild to me, because I almost
given our feeds, like what we're seeing, right? Like when you're in the Jewish world, this is all consuming for us.
Oh, I thought I needed to go to therapy at one point, because it affected me so much, the hostages being there, that I'm like, I felt it viscerally, like in my body, that I'm like, I'm not okay.
Right.
And then, oh my gosh, she wanted me to throw. So Hirsch Goldberg Poland, who for some reason, I don't know why, he just kept jumping out at me. And so I followed, and I've shared this with his family before. I knew he was alive at certain points because he came to me in dreams. So I then asked the family, because I think it was like the niece or something running. I said, are you open? I said, there was a dream about Hirsch. Are you open to hearing this? Because, like, I don't want to put my stuff on anyone. They're like, no, absolutely, please tell us. So I let them know, like, I knew up to a certain point that he was alive because he kept appearing in my dreams. And I kept seeing things. So it was like this connection that I felt on a soul level was just wild. And I felt like all of them were my brothers and sisters. And we all feel that, and that's why, like, I had to speak up.
It's so interesting that you say that because you had said like you really rejected your Jewish
Completely,
identity for
completely.
what 40 plus years.
Yes.
And
For
then all
40,
of a sudden,
I think I was 45 at 45 years.
yeah. So that's so shocking to me.
Yeah.
Also, like being in LA, being in this like
Yeah.
community that you're in, that a lot of people practice Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism. Like, do people not realize that that's where it comes from?
I'm seeing that now, and it's really interesting to me because
it's trendy to study Kabbalah.
Exactly,
now.
and it's fine. Like whatever, it's universal wisdom, really, but it's coming through the channel of Judaism. So it's very interesting to me that I'm like, we have to pay respect to where it came from. Like I've done a lot of Kundalini yoga in my 20s, and like there was always like the pictures of like the gods and like the head. They were up in the temples or wherever we were practicing. So like I'm not going to say that I know everyone's name, but there was respect given. So it's just interesting that like the world is so anti-Judaism, but yet then people are practicing Kabbalah because it's trendy. But like,
yeah,
have you ever spoken up about anything? And again, they don't need to. Like, no one needs to do anything, but it's just interesting because it's making you see that everything is actually connected. And actually, there's so much just karma with that region and the area, and nothing is going to change until people start moving to a higher consciousness, because you can't keep fighting the same way. It's just going to be in a karmic loop. It needs to be higher consciousness, and it needs to be becoming undoctrinated.
And what does that mean to you, a higher consciousness? And how can we
can't continue on the way it's been. But the problem is that a lot of people from birth are indoctrinated into this, so they don't know anything else. So I understand from that perspective. If you're as a kid, you think, oh my God, they're the devil, they're going to kill you, you got to kill them first. Like if that's all you know, I mean, that's all you know, right? So it's
you can't blame people.
It's a lot of deprogramming. It's a lot of stepping into higher consciousness, which is seeing from a higher perspective that we are all human, we're all here on earth, and this is not working. Like this is not working, but also, I mean, there's so many layers to this. Listen, I'm not sitting here thinking like this could be like a unicorn utopia. Like I understand the ins and outs of what's going on there. So, but it needs to be treated through a higher consciousness. It's not going to change at this level of consciousness. It's just not.
I want to switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit more about just compatibility
when
it comes to signs.
Yeah, let's get off the serious stuff.
Let's be serious.
Let's go into the fun. Let's go into the fun.
I want to go into the fun stuff.
Yes.
Well, I guess firstly, I kind of an easy transition is zodiac signs and Judaism. Is there any connection there at all? Somebody asked
to astrology and Judaism?
Yeah, just like a zodiac sign being Jewish. Like, is there any sort of parallel there?
Yeah, well, there's, you have the Hebrew calendar, which is different, but it's all like Aries and Taurus and this, but there's Hebrew names. And so each month has a different energy and a different frequency of your soul under. So there's parallels. And then there's also stuff that's a little bit of different. So it's not like all of a sudden, like Capricorn it's going to mean the same through the Hebrew calendar, but it's going to have, I'm seeing a little bit more depth and a little bit more meaning. So there are parallels with astrology and like Western and Kabbalistic astrology for sure.
Yeah, I think in terms of just dating.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
This is always fun because, again, like I said before, there's a lot of, I think, misconceptions about astrology in general. Yeah. And women, a lot of us are turning to astrology to find meaning, purpose, to find who are we really compatible with? Yeah. And for me, like I said, I never really believed in this.
I love it.
But after dating two Libra men, I was like, wow, there's a sign here. These two guys had the same birthday, didn't work out.
Interesting.
That's a pattern, right? And I recognize that. And then, going through my Saturn return.
Oh, Libra's your North Node, so that's interesting. We'll get into your chart. I just realized that you have your North Node Libra, so
interesting.
It's actually pulling you towards the direction that you're supposed to go. But we sometimes reject. It doesn't mean that they were the right person. But
so maybe a Libra, but they were just the wrong Libra.
Could be just the wrong one, yeah.
Okay. So how much emphasis when it comes to dating and finding a partner should we be placing on astrology compatibility?
Okay, so I'm going to burst your bubble here. And everyone that's listening, I know people are like, okay, I'm a Taurus, and like, am I compatible with a Pisces, or I'm a Cancer, or am I compatible with a Leo? Like, I know, because I've been doing this long enough, that like everyone wants to know that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you this. Any sign can be with any sign because it's based on your whole entire chart, first of all.
Right, it's not that simple.
And it's based on your free will, and it's based on your level of consciousness. And what I mean by that is You're 29 now?
Yes.
Yeah. So think about you when you were 21. You were probably making very different decisions than you are now. That's consciousness. So that's maturity and soul maturity. So it's based on where we're at in life as well, right? So any sign could be with any sign. I mean, there's obviously differences. Like if you have an earth sign, they're going to have certain characteristics versus a water sign might be more emotional, but it's not that easy. And I would be doing a disservice if I told everyone like, oh, just Leos, you got to find a Scorpio and you'll be fine. Like it's not like that. It's so much more. But there are patterns. Like I'm a Taurus, and true, I have a lot of Taurus traits. I'm stubborn. I like nice things. Don't push me before I'm ready. I'll do it on my own time, you know. So there are patterns and there are archetypes that we play out. But the whole idea is to, and this is in Torah too, in Judaism, is to rise above. You know, Abraham read the stars as well, but it's about to rise above them, not let them keep you stuck.
So are you saying that like traits that you may be associated with, you can change those?
Yeah. So the way I teach it is you have this lower octave of energy, like we have shadow energy, you know, and then you have a higher octave, which is like ascended master, soul, angels, like none of us are there. We fall in between. And some days we're like on the shadow, we're having like we didn't get enough sleep, we're getting in a fight with our family, right? We're in the shadow. So we're playing out this like negative stuff over and over again. But the idea is to move into the higher octave, and that's where we learn. So we fall on this spectrum. So it's like, sure, every Taurus has certain traits and every Libra has certain traits, but like we're still very different people because we have our whole chart in us, right? So that's why it's like, it's so dynamic and it's so beautiful. And that's why we're all so different. Even like another Taurus, like sure, we might share one or two things, but we're still going to be very different, you know?
So what makes up a chart? I know your star sign is like, for me, I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah.
What I also find interesting and what I've been trying to understand for myself is like I have friends that are also Capricorns, right? But they were born late December and I'm the last day of a Capricorn in January. And we're very different, like personality wise. Is that because we were born on completely opposite ends of the spectrum?
It just a little bit too, and then you just have completely different charts as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it has to do that. You're following a different decon. But yeah, there's so many layers and layers. But what makes up the chart is you got some people call it a star sign, so that's your sun sign.
Okay.
You have your moon sign, and then you have your rising. So that's kind of like the big three, and that you can really get a flavor of how someone is. So sun, moon, and rising. And then between that, you have your Mars, and you have your Venus, and your Mercury, and then you have the outer planets. So, and then you have how do all those planets interact with each other. So that's where somebody could be also a Capricorn, but like this is advanced, but maybe there's someone out there that knows it. You can be a Capricorn with Saturn squaring your sun, or you can be a Capricorn with Jupiter conjunct your sun, and it's a totally different energy, right? So there's like layers upon layers upon layers.
So when you meet people and they tell you, like I came here and I was like, I don't know my exact birth time, unfortunately, but I know around when I was born, and I'm a Capricorn, was born on this date.
You're a quadruple. You have like 100 planets in Capricorn.
And like, can you, knowing that, are you, and obviously we don't know each other well, but can you kind of like get that vibe from me?
Well, I asked you before, I'm like, is this your side hustle? Like, do you have another like full-time job? Because I'm like, I can totally see that for a Capricorn. So Capricorns are hard workers. You guys are here to achieve and climb the ladder. You're also, so don't take this the wrong way for any Capricorns out there, but sometimes you guys are late bloomers. Doesn't mean you can't live a beautiful life and do things, but you're going to step into your full height a little bit later in life because think about this, you're climbing the mountain and like an Aries will go up real fast, but like forgot their bag, and like maybe Gemini is going to rush up and talk to everyone, and Capricorn's like, I'm going to take my time and go slow, but by the time you get to the mountain, you're going to have so much wisdom and have so much stuff. So you're like the old sage, like the wise grandmother or the grandfather. So you're gathering all this wisdom, and then so like around like 40 for you is going to be like the height. It doesn't mean you can't do amazing things, but it's like when most people feel like, oh, their life is over, like you guys are going to just be starting in another way. And you guys are called the Benjamin Button because as a Capricorn, when you're a child, it's like the weight of the world is on your shoulders and you have a lot of responsibility. And so sometimes Capricorns can be very serious children. It just depends. But as you get older, it's like the Benjamin Button. So when you guys age reverse, you get younger as you get older because you start, it's like fine wine. Because you're the ruling planet is Saturn, and Saturn as it ages, it gets better and better. So it's so like you just, the fact that you're doing this and you're starting this on your Saturn return, like you have so much goodness coming, like it's just great. You're just going to keep climbing the mountain.
That is really crazy that you say that, because I do feel like I was very serious.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still serious.
They usually are as kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's heavy. It's a lot of energy, you know?
Yeah, but I definitely have gotten a little bit more lax.
Yes. And you will as you get older. It's just going to feel like, like you can breathe more, because you're just, you're moving into your soul maturity in a different way. And like I said, you guys age backwards. So it's really great. Yeah.
Well, I hope that means physically as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, it's everything.
Oh, that's great.
It's everything.
Good news, great news.
Yeah.
But when it comes to finding a partner,
yes.
Typically with a Capricorn, are there specific signs that are more...
Well, Capricorn, I feel like you're going to have a spreadsheet of what you want, and they're going to have, they have to just... Capricorn and Virgo are going to be like, hey, they need this, this, and this, and this, and this.
Right.
So it really depends on your whole chart, because you have to see where is your Venus, where is your North Node, what does your Moon need. So it's like... Listen, there's a lot of astrologers that could go on and just give you fake, I call it basic bitch astrology, but that's not what I do. I feel like I'm a mystic, and I'm using astrology as a tool to help people understand. So it's based on so much more. So we need to see your Mars and your Mercury, and we need to see everything. And then it's okay, and I need to see what is your 7th house, which is the house of relationships. So what's the ruling sign? Where's the planet? What's it doing? What's it aspecting? And then I could give you a flavor of your whole love life. But we need your birth time. So you're going to get your birth time.
I will get it for you.
Yes.
What is there a suggestion that you may recommend for a way that a woman can ask a man a little less aggressively what their sign is?
Okay, well that's funny.
Or uncovering when they were born and be able to dissect their chart so they know their compatibility.
So you're asking me, who has a Mercury in Aries. So Mercury is your speech and your communication, and Aries is direct. So I don't sugarcoat anything. So I'm I have no advice for you on how to sugarcoat or people please, because I was not born with that gene. I'm missing that gene. If anything, I need to work on that, because I'm so direct and to the point. So I just be what's your sign? And if they're oh, I'm not into this, or oh, that's just weird, I'm okay, good, then we're done.
I mean, that's true. That's also not your person, right?
I'm not the best person to ask, but I would just ask, But you have to kind of know what you're doing. But I have to say, I just created a GPT that is so good, because if you put in your birth chart in ChatGPT, it gets it wrong, and there's so many things. So I just created a GPT that's out where you can put your birth chart in, and it's done with my method, Body Soul Stars method that I have now of 17 years, and it's so good. So I basically created an astrologer in your pocket for you. So. Yeah, I'll give you the link for that.
Yeah, give me the link. I can share it. That would be awesome.
It's literally it's in a GPT right now in ChatGPT, and then we're moving it to an app, and then it's going to be in the Apple Store, and it's literally it's going to go viral. We're fixing all the things. There's some glitches because we're in the beta phase. So it's it's already bananas.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's incredible. And then you can put two people's charts together. So I basically handed you the keys of what I've done for 17 years and really refined this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And have you helped people find their partner through astrology?
Well, here's the thing. You can't force timing of things. So, and I know that, when I was 30, I already knew Spirit told me it was going to be later in life for me, my partner. And so I've known that, and I could see it, and I already know it's happening next year. I feel it. I just know it's happening. So you can't force timing, but I mean, sure, I can go on Hinge and meet a guy tonight and we can decide to get married. But is that my ultimate truth? Probably not. Do you know what I'm saying? So I can't promise anyone that I'm going to find their partner, but I can help people remove the blocks that will stop you from attracting that vibration. But I'm also not God, and there's a divine timing. There's a divine timing for me. I know certain things that I've just had to accept, that it was always going to be later in life for me. That's what my soul chose. So again, I can't promise anyone I could find them a partner, but I can help you get into the frequency of what your soul wants so that you can attract that.
And you said stop that vibration. What are you referring to there?
An old vibration, maybe old patterns, maybe self-worth issues, or you keep feeling abandonment things. If people have Venus, Pluto, they could feel a lot of jealousy. So we need to talk through that and see how that shows up. So it's a lot of coaching. It's a lot of consciousness work. It's a lot of healing work and astrology. And that's what I can help someone through is let's peel back the layers the stories that you created, that's not your truth, and let's get you back to your truth. So even if your partner is a certain timing, you're still going to magnetically attract so much more to you in the meantime.
Because you're unlocking certain things and like removing certain, like habits from the past. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. If there was like one misconception and I'm sure there are several misconceptions, but about astrology that you'd like to clear up for anyone listening,
it's not the horoscopes. Like I grew up with it like being in like Cosmo magazine. Like I don't even know if they're there anymore. Like I don't know when the last time.
Cosmo.
Yeah, like all these like 17 magazine and stuff. So it's not that. It's not that. Like that,
because those can apply to anyone and everyone.
That's not what I do. I don't think I'd have a successful business of 17 years if I was just writing horoscopes. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it's not that. That's a misconception. Like that's just for fun and like that's what I call the basic bitch astrology. So sure, it's fun. And like, listen, we love a good meme. You know, I love good memes for astrology, but like it's so much deeper than that. But we got to have a good laugh too, you know?
Yeah, of course. Make it lighthearted a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's up next for Danielle when you're back in LA? Anything coming up?
Yeah, well, basically I'm just emerging from this cocoon that I was in, this death portal after the fire. Yeah. Long story short, it's a good thing. But long story short is after it happened, I saw very quickly that it wasn't just my house that burned. It was the old Danielle again. So I was like, okay, we've already been down this road. It's not my first rodeo. Like I had to sit. I was at my parents' house, you know, in their extra bedroom. First of all, I was living in my dream place and living my dream life. And now I'm like in my parents' extra bedroom. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, but like I sat with that and I'm like, this is not the truth of my reality. This is just the current situation. Let me just process this through me. And then all of a sudden this beautiful furnished house that looked like I decorated landed in my lap. So I'm just coming out of this and I just moved there and it's beautiful. So I'm mixing in on this. I created this GPT, so we're perfecting that. That's what's coming out, and I'm mixing in a lot of Kabbalistic astrology with my work, and I'm going to be speaking again more on stages and just sharing this with the masses. And my work is astrology and consciousness, and it's helping people really at the end of the day get back to the truth of who they are.
Yeah,
that's it. Like
beautiful.
And then we have fun too. Like life is meant to be lived and have fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you, Danielle. It was so great to speak with you. Where can people find you?
So on Instagram, please follow me because I'm super shadow banned and my account has not grown in over a year. That's how crazy it is. So it's I am Danielle Paige, Paige on Instagram. All my links are there. We'll give you the link to the GPT. And it's like we're selling it right now in the beta phase at such a good price because it's going to be the price now. It's going to be like monthly soon. So it's unbelievable.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.